Welcome to another voter deadline video. Today's state is Ohio. Let's get the most important thing out of the way first. October 7th is your voter registration deadline. You must be registered or check your status by October 7th to participate in the presidential election this year. I'll leave the voter registration link in the post, but here is what you need to register, and you can register online. Ohio, the Buckeye State. By the way, I'm not ashamed to say I did not know what that meant. I did not know why it was called the Buckeye State. Do you want to know why? Well, it's called the Buckeye State because there is a Buckeye tree. And this tree apparently has nuts that look like buck's eyes. So yes, the state slogan of Ohio is literally Buckeye. Buckeye. Ohio does also offer early voting, and that begins October 8th. October 8th is also the day for absentee voting. That begins on October 8th. So if you're absentee voting, or if you plan to early vote, October 8th is your date. So go ahead and check this schedule if you are planning to early vote in Ohio. One more date, September 20th, is when overseas and military voting begins in the state of Ohio. So Ohio, it's kind of a red state. It's known to be a red state, but that's kind of a complicated statement, and that's for a couple of reasons. While there are definitely more registered Republicans, about 700,000 more than the Democrats in the state, there is a contingency that isn't always accounted for, and these are the people that are unaffiliated. Those unaffiliated voters are about 600,000, just over 600,000 voters who are essentially independent voters. They're called unaffiliated in Ohio, but those 600,000 are not registered as Republican or Democrat. So when you consider that, it's a very different state. As proof that you can read here, in 2021, there were even more unaffiliated voters, and Democrats outnumbered Republicans. So again, red state? 11.8 million is the population of Ohio. And that is a lot of white people, like over 9 million. But there is still just over 2 million people who are not white. Taking a look at the different individuals who represent you in Ohio, though, it is definitely a white boy club. And I would imagine they're all also straight. It is estimated that 32% of the population 18 and over is not registered to vote. Again, something to give Ohio Democrats some encouragement. Sherrod Brown is your state senator, one of them, and he's currently running for a third term. He's very popular there and is currently up by 5 points. So there's some more motivation to get you Ohioans out there registering new Ohioans to vote Democrat. And now, if you'll allow me, a little side tangent. So on the official state website for registering to vote, there's this guy. His logo, Ohio Secretary of State, as you can see there, an Ohio Secretary of State Republican. And on this government website that is to encourage you to get registered to vote, he's got his logo and his name. Very Trump of him, I think. It's like, dude, take it down a notch. We don't need your logo and your name all up in the grill. And I don't understand why this is allowed. To me, it's like election interference because people are going to see that name, and whether they are conscious of it or not, that's going to register in their brain. And when they go to fill out those ballots, they're going to be like, Frank LaRose, yeah, because his name is on the website. So I don't know. Put a comment in the section if you disagree with me or you hear what I'm saying, but I just find this really weird. This kind of stuff would never go down in California. Whether it was Republican or Democrat that was in charge, it just wouldn't be allowed because it's projecting a lot. This is where you register to vote. Oh, and there's this guy's name, a Republican, who's also been, gerrymandering. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but go ahead and Google it. Google his name. You'll see. So, in closing, it's important to vote because we want to keep our senator. We want to get Kamala to be president of the United States. But also, there's something else that Ohioans need to consider when voting this year and when you're being motivated to vote this year. That is a proposed amendment that currently, at the time of making this video, is having some controversy in the language it's using. You can go ahead and look it up right now, but regardless of when you watch this video and when that actually goes down, the amendment will be one of the things that voters are going to be voting on in Ohio. And this one's a pretty cool one that I'm kind of jealous of being in California. In a nutshell, Ohioans will create a group that has equal Democrats, Republicans, and independents that will determine the voting districts and lines, meaning that the party in power, as has historically been, will not be the one who draws those lines and essentially gerrymanders them. This will be a solution to that problem. Well, of course, Republicans hate it, but it is actually very popular and it will be one of your amendments. So I think this should be motivating for independents and Democrats to get out this year and vote. Forgot to tell you the best part. No elected official, other politician, family member, lobbyist, staffer, or major campaign donor can serve on this committee, this 15-person committee that will be formed to determine the lines, the voter lines. So again, a super cool thing that prevents gerrymandering. I mean, it certainly prevents it a lot better than a lot of states. So Ohioans, I hope you pass this one. October 7th is your registration deadline to vote this year. Go Buckeye State, now that we know what that means. Ohio is the place for me. Or is that Oklahoma? I can't remember now. They all blend.